Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of the Safe Space for Men. I'm your host as usual. Before we get started, please remember to rate, review, like, and subscribe to the podcast. I appreciate it. Today, I'm joined by two great, talented brothers. To my right, in the middle, I have Ant Money from the Ant Money Experience. You guys have seen him on here twice, and then you see me on his podcast as well. Every Thursday or every other Thursday. And then I have my guy, JK Playaway TV, aka Joe. Also has two great podcasts. He has Brotherly Love, Sisterly Advice. And then, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank.
There's a bunch of them.
JKing.
JKing.
Change your game. I don't know what I want to say. Hip hop. Change your game.
I got a lot. So
yeah.
It's all good.
So welcome, guys.
It's good, man. Good to be here, man.
You good? You still got that shit?
No.
Right when he took a sip, like, no.
All my results came back negative, sir.
That's good money.
All of them.
Good money.
All right.
Good health, good wealth.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. I was sick for like, God, it was like 12 days. I was fighting for my life, man.
It's some shit. It's some nasty shit going around.
Yeah, bro. I was in like, I would wake up and like take my daughter to school, and that would be it. Like, I would come home and just be down, hot, all that. So, make sure y'all up on y'all meds, y'all herbs, and all that, man. And if you sick, stay away from people.
For real.
First thing off, y'all, mental health check. How's everybody's mental health?
I'm chilling, man. Just, when you just pretty much working. But I always try to make sure that I give myself time. So when I try to give myself time and just be in my own, like basically when you in the mix of things and everything, your mind be scrambled. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but it's good that I give myself time, chill out, and just chill out and just be good. So.
Yeah.
Me, I'm in a good space. Just working. This new job is like probably the first time in my life that I actually had a job where I'm literally at work, and from start to finish, I don't really got much like play around time. Like I'm working constantly. Like every time I offload a task off my plate, supervisor, I got something for you to do real quick, and I'm just like, damn, it ain't. But I tell them all the time, while I'm at work, I want to work. That make the day go past faster. When my last job, I sat there like, honestly, I had a podcast lineup of stuff that I could watch every day at work and just not do work. Okay. I come in first half an hour, check emails, do my work for the day, and be done. 7 hours, I'm sitting there, I'm on my phone.
I ain't gonna just seem like your other job. You used to text a lot.
Yo, and the crazy part is I can't physically have my phone at my desk. So if I'm texting it, I'm walking out the office to text that much, but that's how much time I had on my hands. Where I never even got complaints because I got my work done.
Right.
But how about yourself? Where you at mental health wise?
I mean, I'm chilling, man. I ain't trying to kill nobody, nothing. Like
It's always good.
Yeah, life is good. I'm other than just being sick last week, that was about it. That's probably what had me down bad. But I'm back in the gym. I always say, as long as I'm able to get to the gym, I'm cool.
Right.
That's how I start my day.
Good money.
If something get in the way of that, like, all hell gonna break loose. First thing I got for y'all, do y'all think social media impacts the way that like black women and men view, communicate with each other, look at each other, how they interact?
It definitely does. Because a lot of these podcasts, because one thing I noticed, right? They kind of tend to certain audiences, right? Mm-hmm. So sometimes you'll see certain things, and you know how the algorithm works. If it's niggas ain't shit, it's gonna be niggas ain't shit gonna be on your timeline. So I feel like that's what kind of skews people from with social media. So yeah, definitely.
I mean, I think it does. It definitely has an effect on the way people communicate. Because I mean, I was watching the Joe Budden podcast the other day, and one dude was like, "Yo." I was talking to a dude about how I used to go out and we go to the club and we get chicks and stuff like that. And he was like, I was just talking about like exing, like how y'all ask a girl for their phone number. And he said the dude was like, why would I ask a chick for her phone number? He was like, what? He was like, I mean, I could just go to her IG, DM her, and then we just communicate like that. And he was like, eventually I'll get it, but that'll be like, and I'm just like, that was so far-fetched for me because I'm like, phone number is the first thing I'm thinking of when I see a chick. Right. If I ask for her IG, it's because in my mind I don't see me talking to her.
Right.
But I mean, I could see how it affects people. it's like anything else. If you overindulge in something, at a certain point, it's going to become part of your psyche. So
Yeah,
facts. I definitely think like it's good and bad. Probably more bad than anything. I think social media puts out like women or people going there. They see a certain image. They see women getting like all these gifts and glamorous things.
yeah,
And then they think like that's what it is. And then like all you see is that. But then the other 90%, she probably getting her ass whipped, getting beat on.
yeah. It's a false perception.
Yeah, getting passed. Yeah, false perception. Getting passed around could be anything. Or these could be that could be her whole like MO. It's women. I know people online right now that put that image up like they got all these glamorous things, but I know them like directly. I know what they doing to get these things. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's borderline sex work.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And guys too. I know dudes that put a certain image online and that's where they got all these good things, and I'm like, wait a minute, like post that you live with your mom crib and there's 17
Right.
people in there.
You ain't gonna do that.
Post that you don't take care of your kids. Like,
Right.
There's so much, you got free, there's reasons why you have all this disposable income because you're on handling certain things.
Yeah.
So I definitely, but like you said, the algorithm is crazy because I noticed that this week. Like I've been looking up and researching a lot of this like immigrant stuff, and now that's all they giving me.
Right. Yeah.
That's all they giving me.
Yeah.
Like I just saw something yesterday where they want the extra. Well, we can go into that. What y'all think about this immigration crisis? And like I saw yesterday how there's hotels in New York that are being paid by the government. Like they're getting basically a blank check. Whatever you're supposed to make today, that's what we're gonna pay for you. And the immigrants go in there and they live there. And then the people the security that are working there, I'm gonna send you the video. They're not allowed to even comment on. Like the guy went in there like with a hidden camera. He's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "We're not allowed to talk about it." He's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "No, we signed like a non-disclosure. We're not allowed to discuss it."
Yeah, it's a lot of like, it's like kind of on the low because I seen the same thing at the Atlanta airport. They had undocumented immigrants, but they had them to the side,
Right.
and a dude tried to come up, just like you said, with the camera. He was like, they had they basically had the police there, and they was like, "No, we can't show y'all. We can't do it."
Right.
So it's out there. They got him in the tuck. They'll have him there. Like literally, they was in the airport in the little like disclosed part. Cops around them. Like they really trying to push this a lot, and it's crazy.
It's me. So I think it's, well, I don't think, well, everything I read, it feels like it's politically driven because there's a bill out there, don't know the name of the bill, but there's a bill out there that they just put, I think like 2 weeks ago, it's for the border security. But attached to that is to send Ukraine like another like $60 trillion.
Yeah.
Like, and of course the Republicans are like, no, we're not sending money over there because why? And then the Democrats make it seem like, oh, they don't want to protect the border. But no,
So it's like a slick type of way to add it in there.
You know what I mean? It's like, we'll protect the border if you send money to Ukraine.
Politics is a dirty game because when every bill gets signed, they call it pork. So they say it's always pork attached, where it's some shit that is like, wait the fuck, that's not what that was supposed to be for. But to get a bill to pass, you gotta make side deals.
Yeah,
You gotta, so like with this immigration situation, yeah, they presenting it like that, but attaching the shit with Ukraine on it, it's like, yo, they not even the same issue, but I mean, it's always shit like that attached. With the immigration situation in itself, it's just kind of weird because, I mean, there's always been a problem with people coming across the border. The border has never been completely secure. And like part of me, like, yeah, if they want to come over, as long as they properly vetted, why not? Why not give them the opportunity? But for the government to be taking care of them, I ain't for that shit at all.
There's a lot of money given out, and the thing is, and like you said, they need to vet them because I'm starting to see stories of undocumented immigrants attacking people. Like they had one where the one girl died, like on campus, and I was like, that was crazy.
We got murders, rapes, robberies, like crime, like stuff.
And that's not even just that, but like the public assistance. I mean, the kids that you gotta do something with them. You gotta educate them some kind of way because they, like the adults, you know, you kind of get it the way you know best. But the kids is like, yo, what do we do with them? That it's definitely a complicated situation. And I got in an argument with one of my homies, and he was like, well, build bigger walls to make sure they not coming over. And I was like, I mean, they always gonna find a way.
They gonna find a way.
If you wanna get here bad enough, you'll find a way. He was like, well, what should we do then? And I'm like, be real with you, I don't have no answers for this shit.
It's not a one size fits all type of thing.
Definitely.
Like I kind of look at it kind of like with drugs coming over the border.
Okay.
Like they work with the cartels. I was watching a whole thing where they was like same thing with human trafficking, everything else. They find ways. You get what I'm saying? So it's crazy. Like you said, it's not one size fits all.
Yeah, I think obviously I get helping people and stuff like that, but I'm a firm believer in I can't help my neighbor until I help my house. You know what I'm saying? Like we got so much going on in our country, homeless people. All right, so yeah, basically with the immigrants, I think they should. It's kind of harsh, but I don't think they should be letting everybody in. Like you can't just when I looked at the numbers is kind of ridiculous. Like they basically it's videos of them just walking across the border.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I get where they're coming from is bad, but I just can't go to Canada and be like, I'm here.
I'm here.
You know what I'm saying?
Canada don't play at all.
Like, you know what I mean? So I feel like we gotta have the same energy. And again, just having all the issues we got in our own country, I think you gotta fix that stuff first.
Definitely.
Just down the street from here, K&A.
Yeah.
You gotta fix our stuff first before we start taking care of other people.
Definitely.
That's fair.
Mr. Goodbids. So, are y'all familiar with Mr. Goodbids?
I heard of him.
I'm familiar with the nonsense.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to nonsense, bro.
Okay,
I really don't care about building the bids. So, it seems like every time I see something about this guy, I don't personally know him. I just happen to know who it is. But every time I see something online, Twitter, anywhere about this guy, it's always about him. Like, I seen him out with a little girl, or I see him out with this dude older than us.
Yeah, I've seen him before, but I ain't.
It's always a story about him being out with a young girl, somebody that's too young for him.
Yeah.
Borderline underage, stuff like that. And then I remember a couple years ago, stuff came out about him, when he was our age, messing with underage girls, stuff like that. That's
shit.
That's the thing. I don't know him personally, but I mean, if you see it enough, somewhere along the way,
it gotta be some truth somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was just a topic I wanted to talk about, and I just you being a father, you just being a man in general. I kill him.
I don't. When it comes to, let's say, dealing with underage, I don't like that either. I don't know the whole background of that, but yeah, that's
the appearance of it. I remember being on Twitter a couple years ago, and I just remember him with a PJ in Miami, and he has 9 girls coming up to PJ with him, and he's like, "Yo, it's my birthday, this, that, and the third." And I'm looking, I'm like, "Yo, these look like kids."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, these look like all somewhere between 21 and maybe 25, but I'm like, you look too old to be having all these girls, and they young, they not as in tune with what he's actually doing, but I'm like, yo, it look like he running a sex cult from the outside looking in, because it's he's molding these girls, and like you said, I've heard,
I didn't even know none of this. That's crazy.
I've heard people that have known of him and been like, yeah, I mean, I had a cousin that he would give her money and she would do this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, yo, that's fucking
I've heard wild stories. Wild stories. Yeah. Even down to some of the bids he sell. Part of the exchange
is that.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Giving up games for a bid is wild.
You know what I'm saying?
That's wild.
Yeah, or instead of the bid being a certain amount, it's a different price.
That's wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The first couple times I heard, the first 2 or 3 times, I was like, oh, maybe somebody's just hating. But then after the 23rd time, I was just I don't know him, but I just happen, like I said, social media, you're going to see it.
Surviving Mr. Goodbiz is going to be crazy.
That would be a crazy title. That's wild.
Because I would really be curious as to, because with that type of lifestyle, it can't be something that's long term. No. So I would want one of these girls that came to some kind of awakening, tell what actually goes on, because it has to be nasty shit. I know it's not all the just glitz and glamour that the girls happy, they all getting along. It gotta be some wild shit in there.
A man just not out here building bids.
Right.
So I'm just asking for me. So what is he I think I watched an interview about him, but but he was just talking about how he built his business. So what is he kind of known for? I don't.
That. Yeah, you're known for that, and then for little girls.
Wow, that's crazy.
I hate to put that out there, but that's just I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, if you just ask any people, that's 9 times out of 10. Besides, like the business people say, like, oh yeah, that boy.
Honestly, when I looked at your screen, I don't know him for his business. I just know him for the nasty shit.
Right.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you where his storefront is. I couldn't tell you like how people like his products. The only thing I literally know about him is like his like sex code thing that he got going on.
Y'all shocking me. I didn't know none of that. That's crazy.
Which leads me to something else I think is disgusting. Drea and Jalen Green. Jalen Green, for people that don't know, is a 21 or 22-year-old basketball player.
22 now.
He for the Houston Rockets. And Drea is, I think she's 40 or 39.
Yeah, I think she's 40. Okay.
She is now pregnant with his child.
Yikes.
This is crazy, yo. What's your thoughts on this shit?
I think that shit
long-winded.
I think that shit is wild because her having a son herself is just like, yo, how are you dating somebody that's the age, like literally the age of your son?
Yeah.
You to have a 22-year-old and now have an infant is fucking wild. Like, it's definitely predatory. Not to say, like, I don't know what her financial situation is. I would imagine she's doing okay. But, I mean, he's somebody that has, like, a high ceiling in the NBA.
Right.
And it's like she got in very early and kind of has him trapped. I was watching somebody on Gilbert Arenas' podcast, and he was saying how, like, the NBA should step in, like, protect your brand. Like, yo, I don't think, like, we know that she has a rap sheet for this. Like, you gonna get some one-offs where they just happen to get lucky, but, like, no, we know she's known for this. They should be stepping in and, like, shunning the players away from doing that.
You know they got classes on this stuff.
Yeah.
They give them classes, like right after the draft. Like, they're not, like, part of, like, camp and training camp and all that. Like, there's classes they go to every day that tell them how to handle their money, to stay away from, like, IG models. And they really teach them. They give them the information.
Oh, I know. I know they had, like, a seminar. I know it's, like, an actual class.
Yeah, it's like, go to practice at 9. And then from 12 to 2, you in class, and they're telling you, like, what to look out for, what to stay away from. So, like, when they get caught up in these situations, I mean, yeah, they still young, so whatever.
Think about health class.
Right.
They're still out here having unprotected sex.
Yeah.
But the other thing about
imagine they got money on top of that.
Right. And then it's kind of crazy because, like, I'm not going to sit here and completely, like, oh, I would never do that if I had that. Because imagine, like, you, especially somebody his age, 21, social media has been around. You were like a kid when IG came out and stuff like that. So imagine you got to the point as a teenager that you looking like a Drea. You watched her for years. Now you at a level where you had that opportunity to go after. I'm gonna do that shit too.
I ain't gonna. Well, I don't know. 21-year-old me, I don't know. I would definitely go at her, but I don't know. I don't know if I had that kind of money. Well, I know at this age I had that kind of money. I ain't hit nothing wrong. But at 21. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I could say I wouldn't, but again, at 21, you're a little more susceptible to shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm going to say, like, who's to say that they are not completely in love? Like, I can see that. Let's say, perfect scenario, they're in love. It's no, like, predatory shit. They just happen to organically meet. Yeah. They hit it off. They good. My question to her would be, he's 21. Your son, I believe, is 21, 22. How would you feel if your son walked through the door with somebody and that same age difference occurs? Yeah. Do you say, like, whoa, son, I don't think you're ready for that? Or, I mean, look here, bitch. What you want to tell me?
Yeah, she can't say nothing.
Yeah, I would be curious as to that.
Joe?
So, I'm going to go off what you said, but I'm a little bit disagree. I don't think that is predatory. And the only reason I'm going to say that is because he has choice. Okay. Even though he's a young man, he could choose to deal with a chick his age. Have unprotected sex with a chick his age. Okay. So I don't look at it as predatory because he's a grown man as a choice. Now, he is young, but at the same time, if we flip it around, if it's a 37-year-old man and a 20-something-year-old woman where we had the same type of, will we say that's predatory? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, as grown people, we have choice. So I can't say it's predatory on my end.
I would still look at the flip of that and say it's predatory.
Why would you say that?
I remember
If a 37-year-old man is dating a
19-year-old,
21-year-old,
no, 21.
I still think it's predatory because you know that it's like you're molding them. They don't have the like. Whenever there's gaps in age and people are dating, I always look at it like, why can't you date somebody closer to your range? It's almost like you're trying to mold them or catch them while they're still naive. That's how I look at it.
I remember when Tom Cruise, he married Katie Holmes. Katie Holmes was like 20 or 21. Tom Cruise was already like 40.
Yeah.
And like that was the big, everybody was like quietly, people were like, that's a little weird because like she's still, compared to him, she's a baby. She's inexperienced everywhere he's experienced. She's inexperienced. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And of course, they end up getting divorced and they work out. And then like afterwards, like a lot of other stuff came out.
Oh, yeah.
But it was like you said, you're able, at that age, male or woman, whoever's the older person, they're able to take advantage of so much because at that age you don't know what to look for when someone's lying to you, cheating on
right.
you. You don't know what to look. You don't know. You haven't been in a situation of real relationship yet where you've been mistreated, so you don't even know what it looks like.
I mean, I'm about to be 37. If I was to date a 20-year-old right now, like I have 16 years of dating on you at that age.
Right.
I would be able to spin you all kinds of ways you wouldn't even be able to see it coming because I'm so much more experienced in this realm than you are. So I look at it like when it's past like four years, it get a little like, and I ain't gonna act holier than thou. it just look a little. It's like a certain range where it just kind of gets like weird looking. Like what you got going on that you can't find someone within your range.
Right. Yeah. No, that's facts. I think for me, like I'm 37 now, so I think for me, like realistically, I probably couldn't date nobody that was that probably was under 30. Like to give it, you know what I mean? Because again, like my oldest daughter's 20, so like I gotta stay as far away from there as I possibly can.
Right.
But also try to keep it in like my age area where like people are mature enough. Because you never, I mean, and not to say that 30-year-olds aren't mature, but I want to keep like I can't bring in no.
It's because but my thing is, y'all both are parents. I'm not. So my thing is, I understand what y'all don't want as close to y'all kids' range.
Got
you.
You.
Trying to say.
Got
so
you.
on my end, I don't have no kids, but my thing is, and another thing, women, do y'all believe that women mature faster than men?
I do, but I believe as we get older and we start to, I think
that's what I'm saying.
I think at a certain, they initially mature faster than we are, and then as they're going like this, it kind of starts to curve where we just gradually continue to go that way. That's crazy.
That's the first one.
But no, I get what you're saying. It's just, I don't know. For me, I just feel like when people have the choice, because do y'all feel like she's getting harassed? Like, do y'all think that it should, like, everybody should be on her like that about it?
I think it's fair.
Yeah, but I think the women also giving her a break. Probably more women will
they
overlook it, because one, they like her, and then two, they kind of look at it. You know, they feel, oh, she got a young guy. Like that's kind of how, because they like her so much. But I feel like I definitely feel like if Jalen Green was dating Becky, whoever from East Bubblefuck, and nobody knew, and she was 39, 40 years old,
nobody would care.
Everybody like, no, I think everybody would be like, what the fuck? Who? She's after his money.
Oh,
Because she has celebrity. People are overlooking it like, oh, there's no way she's preying on him because she's a celebrity already. But he's looking at his next contract, probably $350 million contract.
Yeah.
You have to look. I'm looking like long term. I'm not looking at it right now.
Yeah.
So like, and then having a child, this and that. Like, there's so much.
It's
like he has like 2 years. Yeah, he has like 2 years before he gets his roommate where he needs to decide whether or not this is who he's going to be with or not. Because if not, he need to just dead that shit now while he's under this contract. Because now we talking financials. Before he gets that other money, because
just like with the coach from that was something different, but basically
Spoelstra. Yeah, that was smart too.
Very smart.
That was smart. Yeah,
he definitely get their props for that.
Yeah, City Boys is winning.
And
then my next question would be, well, for y'all, like, what is your dating range? Like, how far up do you date and how far down are you willing to date?
Downwards age for me is like 30 is kind of like where it would be right now. Upward, I mean, honestly, I've always liked older women, so I mean, anything like 50 or under, I'd be willing to crack it.
Yeah, I don't think I could do 50.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to mess with nobody auntie.
Holly Berry threw it
You
your
don't
way.
think
You
about
gonna-
that now.
Holly
You like,
Berry
yo,
threw it your
that
way. You
could
gonna
be
say,
my
oh
aunt.
no, you're outside of my range.
That's different. That's way different. Like, Holly, I mean, come on, all right. So, yeah, we got some exceptions, but like,
Okay.
But like Halle Berry don't even look 50. Like Halle Berry older than my mom and look younger than my mom. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like, yeah. I mean, if I could show up to the barbecue and they be like, my uncle's gonna be dabbing me up and everything. Right.
I see you nephew.
So like, but like regular 50-year-olds, like, no, I'm not doing it. Like, no. I don't see it. I don't know. Knock on wood. I don't want God to challenge me or nothing.
Man, listen, if you a recent divorcee looking to get your way back, holla at me.
But her stomach get her groove back.
I was just about to say that too.
What about you, Joe?
I would say probably I dated somebody that was probably 4 years older than me.
Okay.
So,
You like 36?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but this was years ago. So I would say I wouldn't go more than 4 years in my age. So I'd say probably like 40, 41. And the youngest, I would say
22.
Oh,
no.
It's not a safe space.
Yo.
I say about 26, 27.
Okay,
That's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. That's not that bad.
Gotta be past 25. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like you're not really adult until 25 anyway.
Yeah, the maturity is big, man. That's probably like ultimately like
Yeah.
what's gonna decide it.
Yeah.
All right, so how y'all feel like? I don't know if y'all ever been pulled over. I'm just assuming because we all
I'm
black.
probably getting pulled over.
How you feel getting pulled over? Like I know if
I'll
like
break certain streets just cause like
I know me like immediately like I usually turn the car off and put the key on the hood like.
you already
Like I just do it that way. It ain't
money,
yeah. Just because I've never I probably had like one or two good experiences with cops, but it was crazy. Is my good experience with cops be like white cops in Philly.
wow.
Black cops in Philly. That shit is always aggressive. Like always.
I would say the same for me.
Yeah.
With me,
You
my dad is a cop, so when I was younger, I know. But
shut it down now.
But with my dad when I was younger, he would always teach me like, yo, it's like avoid aggressive interactions. Like you're not going win versus a cop.
Right.
So
Yeah.
especially if you get pulled over and you're in the wrong, just rock with it. Like it was crazy. One of the craziest experiences is like you said, my worst experience with a cop was a black cop, highway patrol. I went, didn't stop completely down South Philly, turned on Grace Ferry. I was like, fuck, it's me, my homie, and my girlfriend at the time. I'm like, all right, we about to get pulled over, so just be ready, y'all. They like, how y'all know? How you know we about to get pulled over? Whoop, whoop. So I rolled the window down. I had one of these Jones at the time. So I rolled the window down.
Yeah.
So the dude was like, all right, why were you going so fast? And I was like, no reason. Why were you going so fast? I said, damn, I'm late for a basketball game. But I don't think that was important to anything.
Right.
He was like, he flashing a light all around the car. And I'm like, yo, first of all, I'm in a fucking 2000 Chevy Cavalier. Like, it ain't like I'm looking like some bricklayer or something like that out here. So the dude flashed light in everybody's face, took everybody's ID. This is where I got lucky. He looked down. Well, no, I skipped this part. Right before he asked me why was I going so fast, he reached in my car and took the key out the ignition.
Whoa.
I was like, so I mean, when he reached over me, I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like this is aggressive for me just not stopping completely at a stop sign. So he looks at my ID. He was like, "What's your name?" The fuck are you asking me my name when you got my license in your hand? Right. Anthony Rockemore. What's your dad's name? Anthony Rockemore. He said, "Oh shit, your dad was my partner." Now the ironic part about the story, he told me like, "Yo, buckle your seatbelt up and have a good day." Man, that's my old partner's son. So the ironic part about it is I went home and I told my dad about it. So he was like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's what happened." Yeah. So my dad had told me that this partner, when they were partners before he was with Highway Patrol, had reached in a car and tried to do that to somebody, and they stepped on the gas and drug him for a half an hour. A half a mile.
So he didn't learn.
And my dad was like, he had to drive up and like cut this car off and risk being T-bone and losing his life. And he was like, and this motherfucker's still reaching in people's car.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I mean, outside of that, I'll say if I'm speeding to something like that, as soon as they pull up, you know, I pulled you over. Yeah. Yeah, license and registration, cool. You know, I'm not gonna make no excuse. I knew it was a risk when I did it. Rolled the dice, it didn't work for me. I mean, where we going from here? But I'm not gonna argue with you when I know I'm dead ass wrong.
Right. Yeah.
And that's kind of the way I went about traffic stops. I do miss having an active duty military ID because he can tell you. There's been times where I've been pulled over and the way you pull your license out, I would just be like this. They be like, "All right, well, have a good night."
I remember that it was he got pulled over. He asked his partner. He was just like, "Yo, what you want to do?" He was just like,
"No, since we here, let's tell the whole story."
Let's tell the story.
Yeah, this actually came up in my Facebook memories last week.
Oh yeah.
So we had a friend that wanted to ride home. So we headed up north I think we was coming from out west. So we headed up north to go drop her off. So she passes out. Now I'm like,
she was done.
Yo, how the fuck did you just pass? Like, you that wasted? So we driving down north. We like somewhere around Temple. So there's hookers out there. And I'm like, I didn't even know hookers be in this part of north. So me and Joe, we cracking the fuck up. Mind you, we've been drinking Henny all night. And Henny puts me in a weird space. But we are cracking up. We riding around with cups of Henny as we drive. So look.
Drawing.
So look, I pull up to one of the prostitutes and she was like real skinny. So I'm like, "Hey yo, is that your auntie right there?" So me and Joe cracking up. So we pull off, we laughing. She said, "Whoop, whoop." We wasn't laughing no more. So I'm like, I looked in, I'm like, "Joe, you gotta drink that Henny so I don't get this DUI." He said, "The fuck I am." So I was like, damn, so much for that I did. So the cop came up, he looked, he was like, "You know, I pulled you over." I was like, "I think." He was like, "Yo." I said, "Look, mister, I'm on active duty. Here's my license and my military ID." So he looks, he gave me a couple questions. Like, he probably was like either military at some point, because when I said where my job was in the Army and where I was stationed, he was like, he walks up to his partner, he was like, "He not lying because that connects with his job." And he was like, "All right, what you want to do?" He was like, "I don't know, because you see it, but he not drunk." So he was like, "I got you." He walks up, he was like, "All right, take that Patriots cup right there and throw it in that trash can right there."
Yep.
So what he was doing was watching me walk a line to get a judgment call. Mm-hmm. The more fucked up part about me having to walk this line is there's ice on the ground. I'm standing there, and when I tell you I never walked so cautious in my life, I threw that cup in the trash, and I was like, "All right, what block is this? Because I'm coming back for my fucking cup."
Yep.
I didn't care about the liquor. I tossed that, but I was like, "I'm coming back for this fucking cup." All right. So I walked back to the car. He was like, "All right, man, just have a good night." We drove off. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I wanted that fucking cup. I spent that block 3 times. I couldn't remember
Now,
exactly
mind you, we
where.
was on a block down Temple where it's nothing but one ways. So we couldn't remember what block it was because it was a bunch of one ways. But he forgot this part, right? Our homie that was knocked out drunk, she woke up and started snapping. We like, shut up.
Now,
We about to get off.
At the point that she started snapping, I did the walk, I'm back in the car, everything is fine, we about to pull up. And she's like, no, cause why the fuck is y'all pulling me over? And
We're going to jail.
I will jab you.
Like, chill. I'm tapping her like, yo, chill.
She said, no, gotta even pull us over. Bitch, you been asleep the whole time. But
so you would wake up as soon as we about to get off. Yo.
But I mean, my interactions, cause that's a DUI clearly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he did not have to give a fuck about me being in the military.
Right.
He could have straight up been like, man, you know what the fuck you was doing? But my interactions with the cops have always kind of been like, yo, just like, come on, like, just get home safe, whatever. Or, I mean, times where, like, I've been speeding and I got the ticket. I mean, I've never been like, oh, you trolling ass cop. I knew what I did to cause that ticket. So if they give me a break in that moment, cool. If I get the ticket, that's on me. Right. That's kind of the way I've always looked at it. But I've always had the ability to remain calm with cops.
Yeah, I stay calm because I don't want to get my ass beat. I don't want to die. Like, that's just point. Whether I'm right or wrong, they got the upper hand because, you know what I'm saying, they got the gun, they got the badge. Right. You know what I mean?
And even still, like being licensed to carry, once they ask you if it's a firearm, you know that situation always turns like a little tense. Mm-hmm. So I've always like remained calm because I don't want to be super nervous, more so than I'm already nervous, to give you a reason to act overly aggressive.
Right. Because like I said, being black and you licensed to carry, then it's like, whoa, where is it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then once you get out the car, give it to them.
Right.
Oh, we're not arresting you, we're just detaining you. I think that's where everyone get like, wait a minute. Like, you know, like, what do you mean I'm not arrested, I'm just detained? Like, some people don't understand that. And, like, rightfully so. Some people don't feel like you should be cuffing them. But for the most part, if you just go along with what... I mean, the point is to get back home.
Yeah, definitely.
And you also got to know, like, even if, like, you don't want... Like, you feel like, oh, they pulled me over... You know, they shouldn't have pulled me over. You can always fight it in court. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, they just feel like, oh, man, you pulled me over. All right, cool. Take the ticket. Go right to court. Yeah. Get my points off. Talk to the judge. That's what it is. But yeah.
I saw a video the day before I got here on Instagram where a girl she didn't get pulled over, but the cop pulled up on her. She was parked on the street, and the cop pulled up. He's like, license registration. She like, how you doing? I'm just sitting in my car. He's like, well, the car's running. You're actually in the street was it wasn't a lane where you could park. She was just pulled off to the side of the road.
Oh, okay.
He's like, because at first he was just asking like, is everything okay? And she started getting rowdy with him. And he was like, oh, you know what? License and registration. He's like, wow. He was like, because I smell weed in the car. He said, I was just checking to make sure you were okay. But now, and then like, he ended up pulling out the car, arresting her. They had drugs in the car. It was a gun. Like, it was all kinds of stuff going on. Yeah.
Yeah, and why would you be that aggressive knowing that you riding around dirty?
Yeah, it was wild. I was cracking the fuck up because I was like, you asked for it. Like, that's your fault.
And then sometimes it can definitely be just that. Like, I used to be in the Maryland National Guard, and there was a couple guys that were Maryland State Troopers in my unit. So I used to take, like, we had a bunch of downtime when I was in the National Guard. So I used to always take the time to pick their brains. This guy told me something insane. He said, when he's sitting there and he's watching the expressway, he said, I'm never worried about that person that's going 90 miles an hour. Unless I'm like just completely bored and I want to like, just like do something. Like if you're going 90, and I'm bored, I'll chase you down, pull over. But he was like, if you're going 90, I'm not really concerned about you. I was like, what?
That's wild.
He said, you think you would be going 90 miles an hour with a brick in your back in your truck? I was like, no. He was like, the people that are very close and being extremely cautious to the speed limit are the people on the road that worry me the most because why are you being so cautious? I was like, yo, that's insane. He was like, there's always the people that's riding dirty that's super cautious.
That's dumb. When I used to go out of town, I was like, I ain't have car insurance like that when I was young. I definitely be going 54 to 55.
Just like the old John.
That was definitely me. That's what I was like, yeah, that's true. soon as I got insurance, 90. Like, you can pull me over, I'm going home anyway.
Right.
Damn, real shit.
When dating, do y'all believe in like the saying "you are what you attract and you are what you entertain," or do you think that some people just ain't shit? Like you just run into people who are just not compatible. I ain't gonna say ain't shit.
It's funny because I got a topic in a couple weeks that I'm gonna have for my limbs, so kind of similar to this, but I don't know because for a while I was attracting crazy and I wasn't quite sure what I was doing that was like just bringing that attention to him. But I mean, honestly, it's kind of hard to say. I think what you're attracting, for the most part, involves environment. Because if I'm at work, like at my new job, everybody at my job is almost like middle age.
Okay.
So I'm like a little bit younger than most of the people in my area, but I mean, you know, you flirt, you see people that you're attracted to at work.
For sure.
If I was to bag somebody from work, it would be because of the environment I'm in, not so much what I'm just attracting. It's just that's what I'm around. So I think what you're attracting has more so to do with what environment you're in.
Yeah, I agree because basically us growing up in the hood, sometimes you just be thinking, oh, shorty from down the street, that's what I like.
Right.
But then when you go to college, it's different. You seeing all types of different nationalities, how people live. So you like, oh, damn, I didn't know I like this type of shorty. I didn't know I like this type of shorty. So I agree. But I feel like with my younger years, yeah, but because you were just trying to go after she looked good.
Right.
Yeah. This is that and the third. But when you get older now, I'm starting to like pick apart certain things. Oh, you ain't grow up this way. Oh, you ain't got a two-parent household. You kind of loud, you kind of aggressive. Like now, for me, it's just more trying to know where my boundaries at. Where I'm like, I can't deal with it. So
I think that I could see that, and then I think your social spaces matter because somebody was saying people be going to clubs and stuff like that, trying to pick up chicks, like going to the bar and something like that. He was like, yo, you know what's the untapped territory? He was like social mixers. So he was like, yo. Alumni mixers and stuff like that. He was like, you be amazed what you can attract, and then y'all obviously on like paths if you're in this type of environment. But that's a place where you can find something more quality than going to a club and trying to pick up chicks.
Right.
And I was like, damn.
That's facts. Because probably for like the past year, I've been going to a lot of networking things, social missions. Like you said, I went to one probably back in February that they have every month. What is it, like first every month? So yeah, I do see like the difference in that.
Because he be going there and taking them bitches down. That's what he was trying to let y'all know, audience. If you didn't catch the context clues.
I would say definitely at this age. Well, I rarely go to a bar now, but when I do, it's normally like with the homies. I can't tell you last time I went to a bar and I was like looking to pick up chicks.
You know what's
it's
funny?
It's not. You know what it is now. It's not.
When I was young, I was like 19, 20. I was in there like I wouldn't say with the intention, but like hoping, like you meet chicks and the minute you start talking to chicks, you thinking like after this, get some, you know what I'm saying, get some breakfast, whatever, you know what I mean, line something up. But at this age, like no, I really don't because I feel like if you are at our age and you are regularly in the bar every weekend, I definitely don't want to deal with you.
Yo, it's funny that you said that.
Facts right now.
I was sitting there. It's this. I was out one time, and I was at shout out to Marv's. I was in there just like,
you know that shit closed now.
Yeah.
You just told me yesterday. I said for real, that's crazy.
So I was in there, and it was this one shorty just fucking absolutely gorgeous. But I had already fucked up by talking to her friend already. So once I seen that they was all together, I was like, but I'm like, your friend's here with her boyfriend. I should just do it anyway. But I was like, nah, I'm not gonna mess up what could be guaranteed right here.
Okay.
So I started talking to her, and I was like, man, I'm looking at you like you're gorgeous. You probably been getting hit on all night. And she was like, actually, I haven't. I was like, wait, nobody tried to talk to you? She was like, you're the first dude to try to talk to me all night. And she was like, and I could tell from your interaction, you're not even just you're not trying to bag me. You just sitting here having conversation with me. So I sat there, we had a really dope conversation. We exchanged numbers. Well, we exchanged social medias.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at her story, dog, for a fucking month straight, every fucking night. In a bar one night. Another night at a friend's house. It's Taco Tuesday. Wednesday. Oh, we had happy hour. Thursday. Those Thirsty Thursdays. Friday. Oh, it's the weekend. Saturday. Oh, we outside, not inside. Sunday. Oh, we winding down for brunch. I was like, God damn. It was every day. It was another excuse to go out and drink. And I'm just like, yo.
You know what that screamed at me? Therapy. That she fighting something. Like she got something else going on.
That's a great point.
Like she's doing that to basically be like the medicine to whatever she got going on at home or whatever she running away from at home. Because it's no way, even if I didn't have kids, there's no way like I could drink every day. Like
you gonna hit a brick wall at one point where you like, yo, I would just
too. It's like
shit ain't cheap.
Yeah, like.
I mean, I ain't gonna act holier than now. We was rolling for a minute during the pandemic where we was drinking back to back days, but even during that time, it got to a point where it's like, all right, I think I'm gonna just chill and drink water all day. We gonna take a break today, but I mean, like, dog, for like a month straight. The first time I saw her take a break was because she caught COVID.
Damn,
so you gotta get sick to.
Right.
Yeah, like, yeah, I would have been like immediately. She would have been just a friend. Like I couldn't. I don't even want to like cross that line just because like I see the potential of what like all the bad and negativity that could be. Like I'm not coming to pick you up because you got pulled up. Like I gotta pick you. Like no,
too much messy stuff on top, and then I agree with you. A lot of people do got coping mechanisms where it's like, oh, I gotta get drunk every day. I gotta go to the bar. And that's her comfortability because she go to the same bar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. Yeah.
And it tells me she also don't got friends. I don't want to say they don't love her, but they don't care enough about her to even be noticing that stuff.
Right.
Like I got I know I got homies and friends that like anything. If I'm out on social media for some amount of time, I'm gonna get a text like, yo, everything good? Like anything. Right. Just saying, hey, what's going on? Even when I was sick, people sent me like, yo, hey. Like, people were paying attention.
Right.
So like you gotta have people around you. Like your circle gotta be tight, man. But
these facts.
In and out of bars and clubs, I ain't doing that shit, man.
It's not even the same.
It's not. It's funny, we had this argument the last time. Because I told him, like, back in the day when we used to go out, like, it was like pre-game. We do this, we do that. Now in the club, you just sit in the... I don't smoke hookah, they do. But it's just more of a chill vibe. And that's cool. But from where it was 10 years ago, it was like more of an event. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I feel like everybody's in the bar and the club and they like this on their phone. Like, like nobody's like really interacting. Nobody really dances anymore. Like even back in the day, even if you couldn't dance, you dance.
Yeah,
right.
Like I'm
like
not
most clubs don't even got dance floors no more.
Right.
Like you really think about, they don't even have a dance floor. It's all sections.
Yeah.
Yo, I thought about something since we on the topic of clubs. So I was sitting there having a conversation with somebody. I thought about something that we used to do that when I look back at it is so fucking disgusting. Now just think about it. Like, yo, do you remember like you be in a party, you sitting there, you looking at a shorty, she twerking or whatever, and you just go up and just start grinding on her. And, and you know, you get the little point. You get the look back test. But dog, the thought of just going up and just grinding on some random shorty that I don't know is wild to me at this point.
Now,
and it was second nature. I'm like, damn, we was really horrible.
Sweaty and like,
yo,
dollar parties with no air conditioning.
Oh my god, fucking white tee hanging off your neck.
Your legs be hurting after being on the wall for like an hour.
Oh, man. Wallies, man.
Ghetto days.
What a time, man. I hope my kids not listening. What got y'all into podcasting? Like, what was the purpose behind it? And like, what was your reason, both of y'all?
So for me, I started therapy like 2 years ago. Okay. But I was rapping. So I did rap first, but I always was into entertainment and stuff like that. And then I just started like doing like little skits on my Instagram. I would just talk my little shit and then do that. And then I started seeing people doing the podcasting, but I wanted to talk more about like real shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I always seen like we went to PodCon. Right. Shout out to Gillian Wallow.
You was there?
Yeah.
PodCon was all that. Oh,
yo, that show was lit.
Yeah, PodCon was all that.
The crazy part is I'm the person that told both of these things, and ain't nobody come back and tell me shit that
I told you the next day.
I'm fucking with you.
I got me texting like
seen like I used to see Gilly, Wallow when they used to do their little thing online. I'm like, yo, we really need OGs that can really talk and really give game. So I was just like, yo, I want to do something about mental health because that's a lot in my family. I know other people going through it. So when I was going through therapy, I was just like, I know there's other people out there that need to hear this and need some type of outlet. That was my main thing, to give, you know, just people, males specifically, but men, just an outlet to talk and talk about the things they go through. But that was my main thing.
Shout out to you for going to therapy. Like I'm big on that. I'm big on just people period, but definitely like black men just getting into therapy because it's such a stigma about. Like again, like coming up, I always like if you heard like your uncle somebody was going to therapy, I make
crazy.
Like, like this nigga's loco. Like, and now being a grown man, it's like no, like I'm doing this full time. I got this going on. I'm juggling all these things, and like I need a space, like no pun intended, like a safe space to go to unleash and talk about all this shit. And that's important because that can prevent suicide. That can prevent like a lot of things. Prevent you from going to jail. Prevent you from losing your family, your relationship, anything. So
not even just that. Shout out to Dom. We headed to her live podcast later, but she had 2 weeks ago. She had a podcast about being burnt out and the symptoms of being burnt out, and I was just like, damn, like that's an easy range to just fall into. And like I have different coping mechanisms where I don't specifically go to therapy, but are therapeutic for me. But I definitely see like in an event that this stopped working for me, where it'd be like, all right, I would seek mental help. But me personally, I started podcasting because I had a homie that rapped, and I used to ghostwrite for him. So I saw him get into podcasting, and
he almost had.
I put him on one song, and he should out on him royalties for like.
I'm like, for real? Then I realized, like, oh, he's playing, man.
But no, honestly, I had a homie that shout out to Chalk, babe. 215 Real Exposure. Chalk had a podcast back in 2010.
It was like 2010.
So at the time, so she was it was all audio. Like you had to go onto this website, click on it, and you could only listen to it online. And I would be around it. Like I was always somebody's like sidekick. I had another homie that had a podcast, and we would just have really dope conversations. And he would like cut the conversation like, yo, I think this would be a good thing to talk about on my podcast. And I would podcast with him. It was like I was always just jumping in, and like I was always a good sidekick. So there was like a couple times where I had thought about it, like with friends, we would sit around, and my homies, I remember one time they was like, yo, we should do a podcast. And I was like, I would do a podcast, but y'all not consistent with shit. So I would hate to come there one day and I'm like, all right, yo, we gonna do the podcast today. I don't really feel like it. It's day and the third. So I'm like, I wouldn't do a podcast with y'all. I had another girl, I'm gonna say probably about a year ago. She was like, yo, I think we should do a podcast together. I was like, I don't have a problem with that. I just want to figure out what the logistics of it would look like because I'm in Philly. I mean, you in Philly, I'm in VA. I was like, you know, it could be something where I come back and we could do it like directly together at this time, or like how would you want to do it? So we never kept up with it. It kind of like started off as a good idea and kind of went. So I would say what really gave me like the spark is Dom. Shout out to Dom. She had me on an episode of her show. It was talking about like dating in the black community, married, single, and she had me up there. I gave my points about what was going on. So Big Exclusive had chimed in, and the next day I watched his show because I saw her talk about his show. So I was like, you know what? I liked his perspective on something that we were talking about. I'll watch his show. So I watched his show, and he was like, yo, Aunt, I want you to dial in actually and give some feedback about the subject because I kind of want to piggyback off of her show. So it was one time. Then the next week they were talking about something. He was like, yo, you know what? Call in. So at a certain point, I had called in like, it was like a month straight, just calling in, giving my perspective on things. And he had came to me one day and he was like, yo, you know, like a lot of people been giving us feedback about you on the show. And I was like, really? I didn't think anything of it because I'm just calling in and talking my shit. He was like, yo, you ever thought about a podcast? And I was like, I thought about it. He was like, I think you got the potential to have a really dope show. I was like, well, give me like a month or so to really think about it and to break everything down. I procrastinated like a motherfucker. I didn't get my show like what I really wanted until like a week before he came back to me like, yo, you know your show is supposed to debut soon. Like you need to, like I basically gave them like a quick synopsis of what I had in mind. And I was like, I just wanted to be entertaining. I was like, my personality is random. So it's going to be some times where we talk about some funny stuff. It's going to be some times we talk about serious stuff. We might talk about something that's going on in the news. So the lady, the way I broke it down for it, well, El Presidente, shout out to Tiff. She was like, yo, that sounded really dope. So I was like, man, I was fucking winging it on that one.
Yo, he crashed my podcast, and I was like, bro, tell me about the podcast. He's like, I don't even know. Like,
yo, I was like, it's still, you know, in the works. I'm like, I ain't had shit together. so the Big Exclusive called me and was like, so how do you want your show set up? And it just came to mind. I'm like, literally, as I'm on the phone, like, yo, I want to have a portion where I talk about things that are current events. We can call it If It Bleeds, It Leads. He was like, all right, cool. I like that. So I was like, you know, then I'm going to have a portion where, like, me and my homies, like, shout out to Corey, on Sundays for, like, it was, I'm going to say, throughout the pandemic, on Sundays when we would meet up, we would sit there and we would just have these talks. And it would be just adult conversation. It could be anything like dating, life, parenting. So we would like joke around and be like, yo, we doing like group therapy or like the lounge talk today. And I was like, so I'm going to have a lounge talk segment. And then I was like, you know, I like the fact that the way the podcast is set up, people can call in. So I want to know, like, what y'all got to say about that? Like, people can call in at that point and give a point, give their perspective and disagree, agree. But if you disagree, you getting clipped off. But, and then I was like, don't think you're going to be on my show trying to get your shit off pause. But then I always felt like it's certain people that have like dope ass businesses, dope ass shit going on that just don't project it enough. So I was like, you know what? I want to have a portion of my show to the side where I just allow people to like highlight their business. We could call that spotlight. He was like, yo, I think that's dope. So I was like sitting there writing that shit down as I'm saying it. And another guy called me the next day, our graphic designer, shout out to Luke, and he put like the visuals that you see as I go through the transgressions. He was like, all right, I got an idea for what you want. Like literally the next night, all the joints was there. So I was like, oh shit, so this is real. I guess I got a show now. But also I just wanted my show to be like, I feel like there's spaces for certain things. Like I feel like with Joe, with his show for the most part, I feel like it's like dating and then like situational type stuff, but it's just a space right there for that.
Right.
I feel like with you, I feel like you talk about like just a lot of adult and father stuff. There's a space there for that. Those are completely different realms, but I feel like you also need other spaces. Like you shouldn't be watching the same thing over and over and over. And I felt like there's not like enough podcasts where it's just like purely just entertainment. Yeah. Like I could say when I look at my podcast, the next closest things I could probably find to it would probably be like the Joe Budden podcast and Don't Call Me White Girl.
Okay.
But I can't name too many other podcasts outside of that would you can look at them and be like, I can kind of see it because their podcasts are entertaining, but they are just like with Don't Call Me White Girl. She's strictly like I would have to compare it to if it bleeds, it leads. That's the niche of her entire show.
Okay.
Joe Budden, same thing. That's his entire show, and then he just added on a portion where he like has people dial in and they can ask a question. You can't really throw my show into that loop.
Right.
So if somebody's watching Joe podcast and they hear about your show, your shows don't mirror each other where it's like y'all watching the same thing over and over. Yeah. They see me on either one of your shows and they like, yo, I want to check this podcast. It's not mirroring either one of your shows. So I wanted to just create variety and present something that I didn't see enough of in a podcast game.
I think it's definitely important to have like to drop different content.
Right.
Like you gotta have your own lane, but like that's what I try to stick with what I know.
Right.
Like, my stuff is like everything I do is like just about being honest, situational stuff, transparency, things that I directly went through. That's kind of what I speak on. And like the thing I like about your show is like I tell you a time, like I feel like you can cover like 5 categories on your episode. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I mean like really go thoroughly into them. Comedy, serious shit. Then sit down and have a group discussion. You know what I mean? And then while at the end still like shouting out people, business and stuff like that, which I think is important. Like at end of mines, I love to be like plug whoever.
Yeah,
whoever I can
you bit that shit off of me, Paul.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's the second one.
You gotta know what the maze. Hey, yo.
Yeah, I gotta start using my sound button. I'm gonna download a pause. So I can just hit the button next time. But yeah, I think that's dope though because I feel like it's a lot of people. Like I use a lot of different like small businesses. So whenever I'm on at the end of my job, yo, go to this person.
Definitely.
Like when people ask where you get your shirts from, that's Mel. That's you know what I'm saying. Whoever, or go watch Ant Show, go watch JK Show. So I think that's important.
What about you? What led you to start your podcast?
I noticed it was a lot of like dads and men going through stuff that had been through stuff. They didn't feel comfortable speaking about it.
Right.
So
wow.
Yeah, I feel like that's really my lane to be hey, I'm a single dad. I have my kids. This is how I got my children. I'm also a dad that is fighting to get a kid. This is how you go about it. I've been divorced. This is how you deal with it. I've had these things. I've been to jail. This is how you deal with it. Like there are things that people like that happen to people that they don't feel comfortable speaking on.
Right.
Because they're taught not to. Hey, it's okay to go to therapy. Hey, I'm looking for a therapist. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, me and a parent didn't have the best relationship. This is how you deal with it. So I feel like that's my lane. That's kind of what.
Definitely. I would say like definitely your podcast is one of like the best podcasts, like one of my favorite that I always make sure I go and check your podcast because there's really nothing else like what you're presenting. Yeah. And just I feel like people may bring up topics and may speak on certain things, but your level of transparency and accountability to the situations. Like one day I was sitting there, I was like, I think it was the first episode I watched, I was like, did this nigga just really say that?
Yo.
Like, completely like, no, I know I did this, that, and the third, and my actions is what led to that result. And I was just like, yo, I would never be that honest on camera.
So, I was like, it was probably the 2 episodes ago, when you talked about when you had your next child and then you pulled up to your ex. And she was upset because you was having a child and she was like, you just want to have a child on me? You was like, not with you. I was at work and I was trying so hard not to laugh.
That really happened. Like
that's what it was.
Yeah, it was like that really happened. Like I was just as shocked as you. I was like she really walked up feeling like you had another baby, and I was just like, not by you. Like, I'm confused. Like I don't understand why am I even in trouble? How?
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, like those are things that people go through. Like people, I mean, maybe like you a dad, like you're a man, like there are things that we go through that we're taught to not speak about. And I think it's important to put that shit out there so that other people will feel comfortable, 1, speaking out about it, and then 2, like getting through that, feeling confident to go down to a courthouse and file paperwork. I tell dudes all the time, like I know dudes, and I don't want to tell their business, but I know dudes that are or have really been in abusive relationships where the woman is really putting hands on them. I tell these niggas all the time, before you punch her in the throat, go file a restraining order.
Yeah.
Go tell. I don't give a fuck who call you rat, who call you a bitch. I'd rather be a rat or a bitch out here in the streets than in jail because I put somebody's daughter down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because you're gonna lose that battle every time.
Yeah.
Every time because your one punch is more than her 100 punches.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
That's that question. So, do you feel like it's just because, like, in our community, we just don't like court, we just don't like cops, we don't like to go through those type of routes to get the end result? Do you feel like that's the reason why a lot of dudes may not just want to do it at all?
I think 2 reasons. I think one, first, niggas is lazy. Niggas don't want to go down to court and they don't like the process because it is a process.
Yeah.
My 9-year-old didn't see her till she was 3.
Oh,
I'm still fighting with her mom, so that's a 6-year process. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just got sole custody of Jordan. Last year? Jordan is 4. It's a process. You gotta 1 have patience, and 2 you gotta follow through on everything. Another thing, a lot of dudes, and I'm be very technical because I was young and I made this mistake. A lot of dudes don't know how to stop sleeping with their baby moms, so you can't go down there and file custody or say she keeping a child from you and you still fucking.
Right.
Like,
Oh, shit.
because that's just being real.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that makes things complicated.
Yeah, because she can easily be like, "Oh, he acting like this because I ain't want to give him no coochie this week."
That's wild to say.
You know what I'm saying? Or what happens is y'all beefing, and I filed this paperwork. We got court next week, and then we fuck tonight. Now we cool all week, and now neither one of us go to court. And then they want to go to court. Now that shit resets. Now the 6-year process or the 4-year process starts all over.
Damn.
I ain't gonna say I ain't never spent the block with none of them. But what I'm saying is, as I became a real man, a real adult, got real mature, I didn't do none of that stuff. When I filed the paperwork, I followed through on everything. So it's laziness, and then just understanding like you really got to cut all ties. You really got to co-parent. If you're not gonna co-parent, you can't do anything. And then also we're not educated on you. So I'm a 90s baby. I was born in the 80s, but I was brought up in the 90s. All you heard was the court system favored women. So if that's drilled in you for 20, 25 years, you think that when you go down there, you like, my first time going down to court, I was scared out my ass because I just thought this judge wasn't going to believe anything I had to say. What also helped was getting an attorney. You got to be willing to spend the money.
Yeah, I was just going to say that too.
It's expensive.
It's a financial thing too.
I could have put, like, I'm not even being, like, I could have put a kid through college.
Wow.
The amount of money I spent. But it was worth it because 1, I got my freedom. 2, I have my children. Like the end
result.
You know what I mean? Do I want money in the bank and be a house by myself, or you know what I mean? You gotta be willing to sacrifice something. Yeah. So, but we not educated on the court system. We don't take time to get educated. I've been blessed. I got an attorney who sits down with me. He has taught me some stuff.
That's good.
We sit down. He really go over terminology. We look up laws. Like he want me to know the stuff. He not really just after my money. He like no. Like we the same age. He like no, Ryan. Like. And because we were working together over 10 years, he know it's genuine with me. He know like, no, you really want to be a dad. Right. You really just want your kids. You not like being bitter or nothing like that. So it's everything gotta obviously go your way, but I also know a lot of guys that go down there, and the first time they go down there, normally the first time you go there, it's not you don't see a judge. It's like a hearing officer. Okay. And then
they different.
Like, because depending on who you get, depending on the time of the day, depending on their workload, you getting somebody that's doing 50 cases a day. If you case 40, they may not be as attentive. If you case number 3, you got a better shot. So like that's why I always go with attorney.
I was case number 10 for that morning. She was a bitch. Because what you said about like not liking course and stuff like that, and what you said about like the laziness and the process, not having the patience, that was me. I had a situation where me and my daughter mom, we had like a falling out, and she was just like, no, you can't see your daughter right now. So I went to a homie, and my homie was like, go down to court. Like, why you sitting here going through this dumbass cycle over and over? And I was like, she said, first of all, you're not a street nigga, so why are you saying you don't like court? And she was like, well, dig this. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear that shit no more, because if you're not doing nothing about it, you complacent in this situation being what it is. Yep. And I just never complained about it to her anymore. But, I mean, thankfully things worked out between me and my daughter mom. But what he said about, like, the mediator before going to see a judge, she was a bitch. This was child support. she was like, so how much you make? How much do y'all got an agreement for how much you should pay? I was like, I don't think I should have to pay anything. I'm doing X, Y, and Z. And I was like, here are my receipts. Because my daughter was very young at the time. I want to say she might have been about 3 or 4 months. And the lady was like, I don't know why you handed me them receipts. I was like,
yeah, I remember you told me.
She was
I
like,
was just
that
that's
don't
crazy.
Receipts don't mean nothing to me. Congratulations on being a dad. I was like,
wow. The receipts really don't mean nothing.
But I could. It made me like kind of disgruntled with the process, but I wanted to be able to. I mean, I didn't want to go down there to fight for it, but also if I wasn't willing to fight for it, I just gotta accept what comes with it.
Right.
And that's crazy because when you said that when you went there for the first time and you thought that the court system is against men, right? So if you think that it's against men, do you think they should still update the court laws, or do you still feel like people just ain't educated on them?
So the court laws have always been there, just not educated on it.
Mm-hmm.
You go down there, you gotta file the right paperwork. You gotta know what floor to go to. Another thing, you get in these courtrooms. What I'm really good at is I don't argue with them. When I'm in a courtroom, I'm talking directly to the judge. With them, they talking at me. They getting in their feelings. I'm locked in with the judge, Your Honor. Your Honor, I know how to talk. Right. And the judge is saying like, oh, he's the functioning one. It's them. Because I'm talking to them and they turn in and talking at him. Not to me, at me. It's a big difference. So when a judge sees that, no matter if it's male or female, it's better when it's a female because they're more relatable. Oh, you in your feelings. I see what's going on.
Yeah.
I love when I get a female judge. I love it because I know how to conduct myself. I know they don't. So when they get in there and they get the yapping, talking about this, and that, about what I'm doing, this, and that, who I'm probably sleeping with, this. Everything you're saying is not even about these kids. Everything he's saying is he's locked in. He's focused.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So, but the laws have always been there. We just weren't aware of them. Like, we always had rights. We just didn't exercise them.
Yeah.
And because we were taught not to. We were taught, coming up, you were taught for whatever reason, so I have a child with someone who has this way of thinking. They were raised that the kids are supposed to be with the mom, the kids are supposed to have the mom last name, this, and that. So that way of thinking is wrong. Like, two people the responsibility isn't all on me or you. It's on us.
Share. Yeah.
You're supposed to share it.
Yeah.
So, but when you're dealing with people that have that way of thinking, that's kind of when you really got to get the courts involved. If I was somebody that thought the way she did, I would just chalk it and keep it moving. But because I don't, go down there. But the laws have always been the laws, and now the laws are actually more on your side. They will actually help a dad that wants to be in his kids' lives before they help the mom. Honestly, when you go down there, like they when they see niggas coming down there, like, yo, I need to file this. Like 3 people come. What you need? They're taking you. Fill this out.
Yeah, I heard that. Crazy thing is, one of our friends actually told me that. A female told me that. And I was like, really? They're like, yeah, they really leaning towards the man side now. And I was just like, that's crazy, but it's good to hear that from you.
Because of 2 things. So the welfare system has been getting abused for like the last 15 years.
That's a great point.
Yeah. I dealt with that. Be very transparent. So this is within the last year. I have a kid that was their mom was getting benefits. And my daughter lives with me full time. So was getting benefits from the state. And this is my oldest daughter. And I reached out to her and said, hey, take her off of that.
Right.
Because they trying to come after me.
Right.
She knew what the fuck you, pussy, da-da-da. Oh, okay, no problem. Go downtown, child support, call welfare fraud. You gotta do all that stuff.
Oh. Damn.
Yeah, because and then I just fax in this piece of paper that you signed that gave me all the rights. I don't know what she doing, but this child been living with me for X amount of years.
That's crazy.
The rest is on her. So, and then what people don't understand about that is when you get brought up for welfare fraud, it's not just the child we have together. You got children outside of us. It's all one case. They kick everybody off.
Everything.
Yeah, they investigate in everything.
Shit.
You know what I mean? Now they're looking into everything.
Crazy.
So you got to be very careful. But I'm not about to pay back. Excuse me,
Money that you get.
$20,000 that you got. No, I didn't. This child been with me.
So the welfare fraud. I'm not bad if I'm hitting a bunch of questions.
No,
this is a lot of stuff that a lot of men don't know.
Right.
So when it's welfare fraud, it could be where they have to pay the money back.
They got to pay the money back. Yeah, because it's either you or them. So when they fill out the paperwork to get cash or whatever, they were like, you want medical, check. You want cash, check. Underneath that, in fine print, like, we're gonna are you okay with us going after the other? If you are approved for cash, we're gonna go after the opposite parent to get the money, which is child support. I experienced that too with my 9-year-old. Her mom was getting from welfare. She was getting like $403 a month, whatever it was. Child support was getting me for $700. Because when you go to child support, they look at what you make.
Right.
So I hit her up. This is how bitter she was. I hit her up and said, "Yo, they're taking $700 from me. You're only getting $400. I'll give you the $400. Matter of fact, I'll give you $500 in cash every month. Not a check, in cash. Take her off your stuff." No. That's not.
They pretty much want the double whammy because they're getting it from you.
Right. Yeah. But the government, so child support is a business for the government.
Oh yeah,
that's a profit. So
it's like $52 billion a year or something.
If they're getting $700 from me and she's only getting $400 of that, they're profiting $300 every month off of me.
Right on.
You do that over a year, over 18 years. It's a business. They're making money off of that. They incentivize for it to be a single parent household.
Oh yeah.
Because if you're a single parent, we can give you money to get a house. We can give you HUD housing. We can give you food stamps. We can give you free medical. But when you really sit down and look at the numbers, and you're like, if I just put my kid on my medical, if I do this, if I do that, it actually is about the same amount because now I'm able to work more because you can't make over a certain amount of money when you're getting food stamps.
Right.
You can't make over a certain amount of money when you're getting. Yeah, it's a cutoff. So there's months when you just can't go to work because you need your pay stubs to reflect what the government wanted to reflect. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So but a lot of people in the hood and poor communities don't know that because this is all they know.
Right.
Yeah. Nobody. When we was coming up, I never thought about moving out of Philly when I was coming up. I just thought this is the only thing. And then when I start traveling, I'm like, oh shit,
there's different stuff out
there. So bigger than that.
Yeah, there's so much education that goes into it. It's not just the course. It's about your upbringing, getting out of the area you lived in, seeing different things. Like you were saying earlier, different women.
Yeah.
Right.
That's major too.
I
look at women very differently now that I meet women from other states, other cities. And I look back oh shit, what was I thinking?
Right.
So but it's the education is the biggest part of it. For me, in my opinion, I think it's the education. So Joe, when you have kids, vet them hoes, man.
Facts though. I'm glad y'all gave up that information because it's a lot. A lot of people, men specifically, don't know, and it's because. When you hear on it, and it's good, what we was talking about earlier, how between men and women on social media, how they get a perception of things, you would get the perception. It's the women for the court system, they favor them, but you saying something way different, but you actually been in it and know, so I appreciate that.
And you gotta be consistent, what I do, I know which parent that I got a child with I can talk to on the phone. I know which one I have to text. So when the shit go left, I can just be like, print, Your Honor, here's my phone, this is what happened. And again, it's just don't cross certain lines. Even when they get flirty, no, I did that shit because that's not a line I want to cross. One, I don't want to confuse my kids.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? The minute are any of no matter what age they are, if my 16-year-old come in and see her mom here, she's still a 16-year-old who very much loves her parents.
Right.
She's going to be excied and think her parents are getting back together.
Yeah.
I got a 4-year-old. She sees her mother here coming out of my room. It's mommy, and that she's going to be even more excited. So you can't cross them lines. And then that if you got the proof to be like, hey, when can I get my child? And she texts back, when you want to be sucked their dick?
That's why.
I'm just saying. It's proof. It's Your Honor. I am focused on the kid. You know what I'm saying? And then when you go in with that proof, a lot of these orders to get real in depth. A lot of these orders, all my orders are very specific. You can call the child when they're with me at this time. I can call the child when they're with you at this time. That way, I know my phone or her phone has to be available, on, and charged. There's no confusion. Because if you just put, the phone got to be available, anything, we was busy, we was this, we was that, you know what I mean? And then vice versa. The time, you have to, some of the stuff got to be really detailed. In my situation, we don't co-parent effective, so it has to be detailed. There's a situation where people co-parent effectively and they can trade off days, this and that works. Right. But if your situation doesn't allow for that, everything got to be in writing. But the biggest thing is the burden of proof. And every time I went down there with proof, they've heard my side. Every time I went down without proof, when I was younger, it was like fighting a battle.
Yeah.
The biggest, also a big thing, having an attorney. Having an attorney, having somebody standing next to you, and nobody standing next to them is huge because, like my lawyer, he's really known. So
Gotcha.
the judge knows him, and he knows you aren't going to represent bullshit.
That's fair.
So when I go on, I get a lot of time to talk. I notice even now, like when I go on without him sometimes because he used to represent. Well, he's on the case, but he's just not there. Yeah. I get time to talk. Versus when I didn't have an attorney, I'd be like, "Yeah, shut up." It would be like, I'm saying that they would talk over you and all that. But now that I have like his name is on the paperwork and it's near mine, I kind of get that like respect and like space to kind of like talk. So it's all about like again being consistent and then I guess following up on it. Don't be lazy, man. I just can't do like laziness. Quick story. I had I had a relative, a friend that was going through something similar, like a custody battle, and he was actually the one being petty because like she moved on and got a girlfriend. And again, like I love to give advice. What I tell people, don't waste my time. So like I gave him advice on what to do and what not to do, and he didn't follow it, and he got fucked in it. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can't. So like the girl get an opportunity to be petty. I'll tell you that she get an opportunity to be petty. But the minute the man is being petty and they see you acting like a bitch and you one like you worry about her. They don't like you really get one shot with that. This is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get weekends and we'll see you in a year. That's how it been. And you come back in a year and then we'll talk about it. So we got the Jake Paul and Tyson fight coming up. How y'all feel about that?
Wait, that's really happening?
That's really happening.
I seen that. I was just like, who authorized this? But I see with boxing now is all about the entertainment. It ain't about the, you know what I'm saying? It ain't about the sport now. It's all about who can get the most money. You see Floyd doing fights in Taiwan that nobody know about, like, but he get a bag of like $30 million. So it's like,
I'm scared.
You scared of what?
I don't know what's like because. Like Jake Paul is actually a training boxing fighter now. He's actually he's a legit boxer now. Yeah. But Mike Tyson is still Mike Tyson at 57 years old. So, like I
wouldn't want to see Mike get knocked out.
Right.
I wouldn't want to see that. I mean, you know, he's older. He's still his reflexes and everything are still there, but he's still older.
Right.
So you figure him constantly throwing punches by round 3, like when he had the fight with Roy Jones Jr., he was like, yo, I was winded. Yeah. I would not want to see winded Mike Tyson get knocked out by Paul. That shit was like, he's regardless of the fights that he's lost throughout his career, I still look at it like, all right, that was reasonable. I didn't like when he got towards the end of his boxing career and he took a couple L's, but you like, all right, he getting old, he don't quite have it there. I would not want to see Mike at this age be knocked out. But also, I understand there's a bunch of, I mean, there's only but so much shit I'm going to let you keep talking about me. We going to let you, to be able to get this to happen in a legal manner where there's no repercussions, because he just kept talking shit and egging them on. I can see why.
Oh, that's why it happened?
I feel like Jake Paul was like sending like little shots and like saying little shit. And then eventually, like, I don't know how it was presented to him, but I've seen clips of him saying shit. And then it's just like, yo, you being disrespectful. You know that's still Mike, right?
I wouldn't fight Mike.
Fuck no.
Like, fuck no. I seen him training. I'm like, he threw like 12 punches in 2 seconds. I was like,
you gotta understand, like, these dudes been fighting since they've been like teenagers. Yeah. Even though they get older, they still
Mike
sharp.
Tyson, I've read like half of his autobiography, and he was fighting grown men at 13. I mean, at 13, Mike was like, I think they said he was like 5'10", and he was like 230.
That's crazy.
That's a fucking teenage. That's a grown man.
Right. And they're streaming it on Netflix. That's where it's going to be on. It's going to be on Netflix. The fight.
That's
different.
It's a bag, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Netflix is about to start doing like a lot of live. Like they just got the contract with WWE. They're going to do all their Monday Night Raws. Are going to be on Netflix.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, like Netflix trying to survive. They trying to survive because they losing the fight. Yeah, they're the first ones out with this type of streaming service, and everybody's catching up. I mean, I could say in the last week, I probably watched Hulu and Max more than I've watched Netflix, and I've had Netflix for years.
Yeah, I watch Netflix like once a month. It's because
it's
because I don't have anything else to watch. I'm like, let me go find a movie.
Yeah.
Like, they have a huge catalog, but they also don't have like a catalog of like recent stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Max catalog.
Max got all the new movies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Peacock got all the new movies. Like it just there's other things out there that, like you said, that surpassing them.
Yeah.
Well, updates on for you, Ant. How's your, last time we talked? I know you just got in a relationship. How your relationship
Yo,
going?
dog, chill.
Edit that part out.
Well, it's been real, guys.
remember when you was a young boy, you turned on the TV at like 2:00 in the morning, they'd be like, beep.
Right.
But no, everything going good. I can't complain. You know, like everything goes. Minor issues because I feel like we have different personalities. So she comes from a different background, whereas growing up, people communicated with her a certain type of way. So like, for instance, she felt like it's certain shit that she won't be vocal about, but it's something that she doesn't like.
Okay.
Me, fuck that. I'm telling you everything I don't like. I told her the other day, she was eating. I was like, yo, don't talk to me with food in your mouth. She was like, damn, Dad. But I'm vocal and up front. You never have to worry about what I'm thinking because I'm always going to tell you. But it leaves you without the uncomfortable, like, I don't know what's going on. You're going to know exactly why I'm mad at you. That's just the way I communicate. She doesn't. She was like, I feel like you bring up everything that you have an issue with, whereas I don't. If it's a minor issue, I'm like, fuck it. I was like, yeah, nope, not me.
I think it's important too to like, because at least in my younger years, like where you notice something about a girl that you ain't like, because you liked her so much, you would like not pay no mind.
Right.
And then when it became a really big problem, it became a really big problem.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then like, when you really addressing it, she like, well, I've been doing this for 18 months. What are you talking about? Something's wrong with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I ain't like it for 18 months.
You know what I'm saying? You can't, like you said, you address everything you see like as it happens.
Right.
It probably actually make for a longer, healthier relationship.
Right.
Yeah. How long you been at it? Shit.
That was kind of wow.
Damn.
Call this episode pause.
Yeah. That was the third pause.
I mean, it's been a nice couple months.
Okay. All right. Hopefully, next time you back.
I got 2 of them things. I'm working on it.
Yeah, I'm done with it.
Before we get out of here, go ahead and plug yourselves, plug your channels, your businesses, YouTubes, everything.
My Instagram is JKing. Like you said earlier, I got a couple podcasts. I got Unbrotherly Love and Sisterly Advice. That's the podcast I do with me and my sister. Shout out my sister Nah. And I do another joint called Upgrade Your Game. Another one, a hip hop series I do called Unwavered. And my YouTube is Playaway TV, so check it out.
The Book of Hove Jones was dope.
Appreciate
the Book of Hove Jones. I was like a little jealous because I was trying to get up there. But I couldn't.
Yeah.
I wanted to go. I didn't get a chance to go see it. I don't know if they're gonna have it out again. But the Book of Hove Jones was dope.
Yeah, I hope they do another joint because it was definitely worth going.
I think it's good to see stuff like that.
Hell
yeah.
Because I mean, you grow up like it reminds me of like when the president of the podcast network I'm on was like, "Yo, we gonna have events. I know you live in VA." But, like, you got to at least come to every other event because she was like, when people watch you, they grow an attachment. So people are going to want to be able to talk to you. And it's like the same type of logic. Yeah. I mean, we've grown up listening to these tracks and stuff like that. To be able to see stuff that's, like, associated with that is dope to be able to see.
Fact.
Same. And shout out to Shannon because big exclusive. One thing I like about him is even if he like DM you or he jump on the joint on it, he always give people their flowers. He let you know exactly what you're doing good, and he always offer to help. But you don't see that a lot in our community. Period.
Right.
Like like it's so. I say so far, at least in the podcast space, people are actually everyone's like helping each other and willing to like, hey, I think you could try this, or I like this about your show. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not really, so from what I've seen, there's not really much like hate. Where in other like areas of rap or like poetry, people are like really just like it's all competitive. I feel like even with us, like we're not competitive. We watch each other shit. We want to go to each other stuff. We all want to down like everything. It's really like all support. So I think that's important too.
Definitely.
Gotta plug your shit, man.
You know, I thought he was still going.
Oh no, my bad.
Oh,
I did want to talk about my I got a website www.playway.com. I did the hats, I did the shirts. But yeah, that was it.
Well, me, you can check me out every Thursday, 7 o'clock, the Ant Money Experience, the podcast unlike any other on a big exclusive network. Come check me out. It's always a good time. I talk about some current events. I have my lounge talk. Give people the opportunity to chime in, voice their opinions. And I'm always looking for businesses to spotlight. So if you're watching, you got a business that you just want to have spotlighted, you can DM me, you can inbox me. And I don't charge. I appreciate free merchandise, but I don't charge. I just feel like
Free liquor.
take that too. But I just feel like
Anyway.
I just feel like the more we like look out for each other, it goes a long way. But outside of that, the Big Exclusive Network currently has a membership, $5 a month. I'll be dropping my sex tape out on that pretty soon.
Christ.
Outside of that, you know, I still do. I still do my ghostwriting thing for one of my homies that raps that also has a couple different podcasts. So just check me out. A lot of things going on right now.
As usual, y'all. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for coming on. I appreciate y'all taking time out your day. It's a rainy ass, dreary Saturday. And we almost made it through the whole episode without my kids, and we got stuff right now.
They creeping right now. They're like,
They thirsty. They acting like I ain't never fed them. Got me looking crazy. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for watching. Until next time, peace.